Hey, sorry about that, guys. Little technical difficulty there. But, I was talking to, no, I wasn't talking, I was in a class taking my safety course for my handgun, which I don't have because I filed for a license in New York. Is a big pain in the ass when it comes to giving you a license for a handgun. And so I was taking my safety course, and there is a sheriff's deputy who says he is the most pro-gun cop you're ever going to meet. And he's an NRA member, and he's done this and he's done that. The guy was really spewing a lot of bullshit, to be honest with you. But he was telling us how great things used to be when he used to carry his 22 rifle on the bus from his high school. And life was so much better when guns were an everyday thing. And I agree. However, toward the end of the class, after he had thoroughly terrorized us about guns, about what could happen if we shoot an intruder and we did the wrong thing, New York doesn't have castle laws, and how you better be right or you're going to end up in jail and you're going to get raped and you're going to get this and you're going to get that, it scared the crap out of us. And one woman even said, I don't think I want a gun anymore. And part of me thinks, as much as this guy was saying how pro-gun he is, part of me thinks he was kind of not pro-gun. It was just giving us a little story about how pro-gun he is. And because I wasn't the only one in that classroom that got a little scared. He was talking at one point about how expensive ammunition has gotten, and everybody knows that. Everybody in the gun community knows that. He knows how expensive guns are. I'm sorry, how expensive ammunition is. And just to show you a little something, let's see if I got that. He told us that 9mm was currently at, get this, excuse me, he told us 9mm was at, let's see if I can find 9mm here. Let's see that. He asked us to guess, and I guessed around 25 cents a round. And he looked at me like I was crazy, and some guy behind me yelled out $1. And he goes, "That's right, it's $1 a round. 9mm. I just bought some today." I don't know where this guy is buying his ammo. But I did the math on a lot of these. These are 9mm, 50 rounds. What's that? $19.95. I saw some cheaper ones earlier. I saw some 9mm for like $10.95 for 50 rounds. Anyway, I did the math on a few of them. It came out to a little over 30 cents a round. So I was pretty close. If you're buying them at a gun store, I'd say it might be a little more expensive, but $1 a round, I don't know, maybe you guys could enlighten me and tell me, yeah, sure, you can, if you go to a gun shop in such and such place, it's very common to find it for $1 a round, but I've never seen that, and I was very surprised. And it's another thing that kind of gave me a red flag about this guy. He's telling us how expensive ammo is. It just seems like he's scaring us away. And at another point, he says, you're not going to get a concealed carry permit here. You're going to get a premise permit, but you're not going to get a concealed carry. It's going to be very difficult. He was basically telling us, don't even try. And he said another thing, which was, you don't really need a gun. I need a gun because I'm a cop and I go out there every day, and he's right. He needs a gun because he's a cop and he goes out there every day, but you know what? Everyday citizens also need guns. Citizens that do my job, for instance. We're landlords, and it's pretty dangerous. He gave us some stories about a landlord, just so happens, who was collecting $100,000 a month, which just sounds excessive. And he said, that the guy told him he needs a gun for that reason. And he's sort of making fun of this guy, and at one point he says, he asked the guy, why don't you just get $50, pay an off-duty cop to watch your back, because if somebody's going to hit you over the head, he's going to take your money anyway. And I just started asking myself, first of all, an off-duty cop is probably going to spit in your face if you offer him $50 to watch your back. They're going to charge you a whole lot more than that. But why is he saying this about somebody who's in a legitimate business, who has a legitimate concern, and why is he telling him you don't need a gun? There are other ways to do it. It just seemed off. It's, even if this guy is a very pro-gun guy, he's a pro-gun guy in New York. And for the most part, with the exception of yours truly, pro-gun guys, even in New York, are going to be, at best, a neutral, middle-of-the-road kind of an anti-gun person anywhere else. And so, this is the world we're living in. The more we see news stories about Jared Loughner, and we see all these other things on the news, we watch HBO, which is, I was watching Bangin' in Little Rock earlier, and that is exactly what I'm talking about. Shows on HBO, shows on MSNBC, showing you how evil and how destructive guns are, and how they're in the hands of criminals. And this is exactly what people on that side of the aisle want. They want you to believe that either you're a cop or you're a bad guy, and everybody should have their guns stripped away from them. And this is very real. You have Russell Simmons on Real Time with Bill Maher talking about how nobody needs a gun, and only the military and the police need a gun. Rosie O'Donnell saying the same exact thing. So, watch out. Teach your kids about guns. I was in my 20s before I shot a gun for the first time in my life, and that's pathetic. It really is pathetic. That's kind of sad. I shot a BB gun before that, but that doesn't count. And that's what they want. They want you to be defenseless. So keep your eyes open, and especially if you live in a blue state. And see you guys later.